For a consumer, not everybody's had the privilege that I have of like walking through your lab and seeing all the people working there.
And I do, because we did the little video
I know,
on different parts of our website.
Exactly.
So it's kind of fun.
Yeah, so people are going to get to see that. And, and having worked with you for years, there's certain things that I know with absolute certainty that things are what they say they are. But for the average consumer that has no idea of who dry labs are and stuff like that, what should they be doing to educate themselves? Maybe.
Unfortunately, to educate themselves, I would stick mostly with the doctor type products from professional companies that deal with doctors and pharmacies, and not ones that do the mass hysteria sales things. I mean, any company right now, in my mind, that has been selling Hoodia for the last few years, there's only this much Hoodia in the world. And if you talk to a good laboratory, there are people buying metric tons of Hoodia which don't have Hoodia in them. So, there are fucoxanthins, there are a lot of fad products. So you can almost judge a company by whether they've gotten into fad products that really may not even have the ingredients in there, because there's not that many ingredients in the world to support the sales of what's out there. Yeah. So, and other things that you never see on in the world of the marketplace are. I never bought acetaminophen. I mean, that was one.
What is that?
Acetaminophen, SAMI.
Oh.
SAMI has been out for years, and when it first came out, I wrote an editorial in the Alternative Medicine Review about the stability. I mean, it's Sigma has a standard that they keep at, I believe it was 20 degrees centigrade below zero in a sealed aluminum container, and it's in nitrogen, so there's no oxygen exposure, and they still only guarantee it for 6 months. So how can you make tablets that are really going to be stable, or capsules? Or people selling the capsules, they do have all these layered tablets, and it would be interesting to see the real actual stability, whether it's there. It may be now, but we never sold it because I knew that at some point there would be questions on it, and these people were selling, just add it into your capsules, sell it, but 3 days later, there may be nothing there. So a lot of this has to do with homework and analytical procedures and looking at stuff in depth.
Would you be in favor of a government seal of approval of labs? So, I mean, just as the government is moving in and saying there's GMPs for products so people can have confidence in that, shouldn't there be some sort of seal of approval or something that people would know that a lab is legitimate?
Well, I don't know if it necessarily needs to be the government, but the AOAC, which is the Organization of Chemists, they know who the bad players are, and maybe they should create a inspection of their own where members, you cannot be a member unless you're validated. You have cross-validated testing between laboratories, and there are a number of labs that do. When the AOAC wants to come up with a new method and validate it, make sure it works, someone will develop a method, then it goes out to 6 or 8 or 10 labs, and they will follow through to see that it can be repeated in a valid scientific manner in these different laboratories, and then it's a validated procedure. It would be best to come from that direction rather than add another layer of bureaucracy. Yeah, with something like blood, it's very important that you have penalties in there when someone's running a fake blood lab. Yeah. It would be nice to see that someone does get kind of slapped a little bit for doing the dry lab thing.
Are those, as you say, that Society of Chemists, are those the standards that you work your lab towards in terms of the things that you do?
The AOAC methods really are the most streamlined and, for the most part, the most accurate. But there are a lot of things that are involved. It is using a standard that is properly, that comes from the right company. Someone like Chromadex, where they have 3,800 standards that they actually build the molecules, and then they do NMR testing to make sure that is the molecule. And then someone will buy that standard from them. You know that is actually resveratrol or lycopene. You know that it's absolute, there's no question. Right. And then you have to keep that in the right conditions in your lab, and then you have to go through and actually calibrate your equipment. And then you have to, when you're running tests, you have to You can't just use what's in the computer and the machine. You have to run the standard at that time and run everything so everything is done in a valid scientific manner, and so it's a validated procedure. So there's a lot of things that are involved there, and I don't do it on a daily basis. We have a lot of people in the laboratory, but we look at anything that's anomalies, and we try to we work out procedures and work back and forth with people like Chromadex to ensure that what you're doing is actually getting you the right results.
Yeah. Again, I just wish that people could see.
Well, they will.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is that they have their own lab and they can produce any result that they want. But if people actually saw what it is that those people are doing in there and know that you can't fake people should have a lot of confidence in your product based on all the work that you've done.
Okay.